At 32, my father still mocked my career. Consultant, he'd scoff at family dinners. For years, my father dismissed everything I did, everything I was, as worthless. But the moment he called me a disappointment to my face at Thanksgiving dinner, I knew it was time for the biggest, most shocking reveal of my life. A moment I've been planning for years. 32 years old, and still chasing fantasies. My father's words cut through the Thanksgiving dinner conversation like a knife. The entire table went silent. You know that awkward quiet when someone says something so harsh, so utterly demeaning, that no one knows whether to laugh or just cringe and look away. That was us. When are you going to get a real job, Ethan? I looked up from my turkey and stuffing. My dad, James Parker, sat at the head of the table like some kind of king, fork pointed at me like a weapon. He's 60 now, his hands rough from 35 years in construction. His face is weathered from working outside, and he used that to make his point. That's a real job, he scoffed. Look at your brothers. Chris is a foreman with 15 guys under him. Michael, he oversees 3 job sites. But you, he actually laughed a hollow, bitter sound. What even are you doing? Consultant? That's not a job. That's just a fancy word for jobless. My uncles, John and David, shifted uncomfortably. My mom, Linda, just stared down at her plate, her knuckles wide around her fork. My brothers, Christopher and Michael, exchanged uneasy glances. Chris managed to smirk, but Michael, at least, had the decency to look a little sorry. My Aunt Sarah tried to change the subject. Linda, the turkey is amazing. But Dad wasn't having it. I'm serious, he interrupted, leaning forward. 32 years old. When I was 32, I already had 2 kids, and I'd bought a house. I was building things, real things, building structures, stuff you can actually touch. But Ethan? Ethan sits in coffee shops with his laptop, pretending to be a businessman. Uncle John chuckled. Aunt Sarah's husband, Charles, laughed into his wine glass. Everyone was staring at me now, waiting for my reaction. Would I defend myself? Or just take it like I always did? I took a slow sip of wine, then carefully set my glass down. I smiled. It was a genuine smile, but it held a secret. You're absolutely right, Dad, I said, my voice calm, almost gentle. I'm clearly not doing any real work. He didn't get the sarcasm. He never did. Finally, he slapped the table. See? The boy admits it. Maybe there's hope for you yet. Chris, do you think your company's hiring? Maybe we can get Ethan a job as a laborer. Start from the bottom, work his way up like a real man. More laughs around the table. I checked my watch. 7:03 p.m. For minutes. What my father didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I'd spent the last 6 years building something from nothing. I started in a tiny Seattle studio apartment with a used laptop, ramen noodles, and a burning ambition. I was building software to optimize supply chain logistics for construction companies. My first client was a small contractor from Portland. He paid me $600 to improve his inventory system. It saved him $40,000 in the first year alone. Word spread. Within 20 months, I had 26 clients. Within 4 years, I had offices in 4 cities and 38 employees. Within 6 years, I had built the leading construction logistics consulting business on the West Coast. Last year, I sold it to Stratton Global Industries for $50 million. I didn't tell my family any of this, because I knew this exact moment would happen. My father would eventually push too far, mock me in front of everyone, and state unequivocally that no matter what I accomplished, it would never, ever be enough.